à des réformes des universités, la réforme sur la gouvernance des universités. Au départ, ça a été un peu dur, mais finalement, tout le monde s'est accordé pour dire que l'université devrait s'ouvrir à la société. Et nous avons donc changé le mode de gouvernance en créant un conseil d'administration qui inclut le monde socio-économique maintenant dans le management de l'université, tout en laissant aux universitaires, bien entendu, les questions pédagogiques, les questions donc liées à... aussi eu l'engagement de diversifier l'offre de formation, puisque je pense que pour qu'il y ait cet environnement, il faut non seulement le cadre réglementaire, je l'ai dit tantôt, les concertations, les directives, les réformes, la réforme LMD sur les titres et les grades, la réforme du statut des chercheurs, ça c'est le cadre qui doit permettre d'avoir un écosystème favorable. Ensuite, il faut des capacités, donc les infrastructures, les incubateurs, comme nous avons aussi EMS à Mour, n'est-ce pas, dans le cadre de ces incubations de jeunes mathématiciens, et nous avons développé un certain nombre de réseaux d'instituts supérieurs, d'universités. Maintenant, il faut régler la question qui va suivre, c'est la question majeure du financement. Comment financer tout cela en Afrique? Alors, jusque-là, c'était l'État, et nous savons que les moyens des États sont quand même des moyens limités, et nous avons non seulement fait l'effort par nous-mêmes de financer sur 5 ans plus de 830 millions de dollars destinés uniquement au ministère de l'Enseignement supérieur, de la Recherche et de l'Innovation. 830 000 dollars dont les 42,5% sur financement direct public. Le reste, bien sûr, avec nos partenaires divers, la Banque mondiale, l'AFD, ainsi que d'autres partenaires qui ont pu venir avec l'État du Sénégal en vue de cette modernisation. Et si vous voyez l'effort qui a été fourni en 5 ans, il fait 2 fois et demi les efforts consacrés depuis 52 ans, donc depuis l'indépendance du Sénégal. Jusqu'en 2012, nous avons en 5 ans multiplié par 2,5% les investissements sur l'infrastructure et sur l'équipement. Formation avec un statut révisé, une volonté politique affirmée et une prise de conscience de la jeunesse sur le fait, comme nous l'avons dit tout à l'heure, que l'Afrique ne doit pas être en reste. Si on a raté le train de la révolution industrielle, pour la révolution numérique, c'est une question de connaissance. Qu'on soit sous-développé, pauvre, fils de rouge, fils de président ou fils de chauffeur, il suffit de s'y mettre et de pouvoir s'en sortir. Donc l'Afrique n'a pas de complexe normalement et de retard à rattraper dans le domaine du numérique, pourvu, bien entendu, que ces conditions minimales soient assurées, et je suis certain que le next Einstein pourrait venir de l'Afrique.
President Kagame, I remember in Dakar, I was like, I'm surprised. He keeps tweeting. He's like a geek, old generation and a young body or young spirits. And I noticed that I have tweeted almost 19,000 times when I went on Twitter. It's just impressive. How do you do that?
Well, I'm getting younger, not older.
That's what I assumed. It's just amazing when you come into this country. In 20 years, you managed to make the turnaround from 4 billion GDP in 2008 to almost 10 billion next year. It's just amazing. ICT, investment coming in, Zipline, visited VisLife. I mean, it means you've achieved a lot in 20 years. Can you explain a little bit what we call le miracle rwandais? Even though I don't like that much, but let's put it this way, le miracle rwandais. How can you explain that to us, Mr. President?
Well, let me start by saying that you give me a bit of time. First, say that scientists here in the room will agree with me that science is a very serious business. But for serious business, you need light moments as well. So that's why when the moderator instructed us to come running up the stage to prove that we are still young and innovative, I preferred to tell him that it has more to do with innovation than age. And that here in Rwanda, young age is very important to begin with, but things get better here with the age, just like wine. But on a serious note, let me say, first of all, I really wanted to highlight the fact that here in Kigali, in 1 week, we have had two very important things. One was what President Macky Sall mentioned, for which he and the other heads of state of Africa were here. That is the Continental Free Trade Area. The second, in the same week, for which President Macky Sall, we have the pleasure of receiving him today. He's here for this conference, the next Einstein Forum, which speaks therefore to science, engineering, and mathematics that are very central to getting all other things right in the development of our continent. So I think these two events have been extremely important, and again I wish to thank President Macky Sall, a friend and a brother, as he said, very true, for taking the time to be back here with us. And of course there has a history. We started the NEF in Dakar, and I was there. I had to join the president on his invitation. So he's accompanying it, he's accompanying us even on this one, and we will have the tour of country infrastructure, and very depressing situation, but we had to pick the pieces and try to reorganize and build the schools and bring security back to the country and administration, and start building institutions that would help us see what happens in a normal life start to take shape. But in doing that, there are certain priorities you want to focus on. Once you have established security and people are getting something to feed them and have strength and energy to do other things, we started building institutions of education, of health, and making sure that from the low point at which we were from the beginning. So with education, therefore, we said education is important in as far as it benefits everyone in the country. So we start from the young people and say, well, from primary school education is every young person, child of our country getting an education. That one we had to start building the capacities to enable that to happen. Is everyone getting health and care around that? We started building that. And, but education per se is good, but you need now to start not only building access for everyone, but also the quality of it is very important. And you start training people to make sure that they fit in the job market. But of course, what we are seeing even today, as we may notice across the continent, we probably have some kind of imbalance. Many imbalances. One was to make sure that as we want everybody to be educated, we don't leave behind women. That is very key, because our women here in Rwanda or elsewhere have been left behind in many instances. So we had to make sure that we don't leave them behind. The other type of imbalance was, as we made good progress, we found that probably some people, we have over-educated some people in some areas and under-educated others in other areas. So in other words, there wasn't balance on the job market to make sure that actually the kind of training and education that has taken place fits very well with what the market requirements are. So that is the challenge that we have to address, and I know many African countries still face that. So we saw that, so it wasn't, for example, I'll quickly give you this that happened. When we started in around the year 2000, talking about investing in information and communication technologies, some people were saying and thought we were joking, or we really didn't have a sense of what needed to be done. And they were saying, how do you start talking about investing in ICT when people have no food, when people have no general education or hospitals and so on and so forth? And the answer to that for us was, one, Rwanda at that time did not have the luxury of being able to choose priorities and go, everything was a priority. Second, we are saying we are not being made to choose. It's not either or. We are saying ICT actually relates to every priority we are thinking about. ICT relates to education, which is very important, which was a priority. It relates to health. It relates to, you know, the jobs people are doing wherever they are doing that. So we are saying we are not prioritizing ICT and leaving others behind. We are trying to create a balance and also share the even limited resources we had and see how we make progress. And I think over time we have been vindicated that progress has been made on these broad fronts that were important to us. But key to the answering your point, other than identifying these priorities we had to deal with, even with a lot of challenges because we had to tackle all of them at the same time, we were always keeping people, our citizens, at the center of everything. Every time we made investments, we were thinking about how many and how are our people benefiting from this, and how are they participating so that actually they bring in their energy as well and whatever inputs they can make. And we insisted on that. And we found that progress was being made, and one success here was contributing to another success somewhere else. and we kept going. So for me, therefore, I would, on this point, finally say we enjoyed paying serious attention to the many challenges we had, but we also found fun around it and made sure that we were not completely overwhelmed by the challenges we had and the tragedy we had had before. So that's how Rwanda has made progress, and we are happy to have been right there as participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Amazing. Minister Kubai Ngubane, South Africa. There has been a couple of challenges in South Africa. You know, we know it's a kind of big economy, knowledge-based economy. How did you manage to balance the inequality you used to have between black South African and the society? Because that was a huge challenge you needed to face, you know, when you came to power. How did you build a more balanced society in terms of allowing the whole population to benefit from the right education, access to technology, to innovation in South Africa?
No, thank you very much. I think from our side, though we still have inequality, I think it's one of the challenges that we're still dealing with. But for us, more importantly, how we've managed to move in terms of where we were previously post our democracy and to now. Firstly, I would say it's leadership. If you look from President Mandela, the establishment of Department of Science and Technology, that's the first thing that was done. But equally, putting together strong institutions. We today have your CSIR, your National Research Foundation, because those help us to achieve our objectives in terms of science and technology. The other issue that we had to look at, to try and make sure that we have more and more people feeling comfortable, but also having access to the field that previously they did not have. It's around issues of funding, making sure through our institutions such as CSIR, NRF, and many others, allow young students who want to do their PhDs, who want to do their masters, to be able to receive funding, that we are able to support them. But the collaboration between our government together with our universities, it's one of our strengths, because a lot of research today is done even at university level. So the work is carried by our universities. So that collaboration, the partnership, equally again, the partnership between private sector, the public and our institution is important, because we're doing that to assist, because you'll find gaps where you sometimes can have a private institution having the resources, you have academics who can do the research but do not have the money, and you have the government with the policy and the will to change things. So the partnership, bringing the three together, it helps us to be where we are today. I mean, part of what we have done to encourage the partnership was introduce tax incentive for private companies who are doing research and development. That has improved in terms of making sure that we do see what we want to see. Again, looking at our past, we had to recognize most of the women in our country were not within the field. So centers of excellence were established and mainly focused in trying to recruit women. We introduced even some of the issues that we shared yesterday with the team when we looked at the leadership, women in science. And we said part of what we do, we host events in September, in the August month, Women's Month, where we showcase. For example, we buy space as government in newspapers, in media, to showcase women who are excelling in science. As part of one, closing the gap because of where we come from, the previous discrimination of women and not being allowed to be in the field. Two, to encourage those who are coming, the younger generation, to say there are opportunities in the science, those who are looking up to women, to see that women are breaking the ground into science. And we also, as part of that, we do awards. So in the awards, we fund them, we give them awards, we give them money to be able to incorporate into their research work. So it's a whole lot of package that we have to do to be able to close the gap. Obviously, there's still more that we want to do, but most of even the partnership that we've done, we're doing very well in terms of international partnership. One of the things that we have done, we've looked at our advantage as South Africa to say, what is it that we have advantage on? We didn't go and look for everything in investment. We said, what are the areas that we specialize on or we have advantage on? That's why we could make partnership even around the issue of SKA, because we have advantage of the area in our Northern Cape. So even around fuel cells, that's what we're looking at. So it's most of how you position yourself, but it has to be a package that is complete. Leadership, policy, funding, and partnership.
Wonderful. Leadership, policy, partnership. Minister Bohr, Germany, when you see a German product, we're like, wow, this must be a good product, you know. And I think you make good products.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to participate in this really interesting, impressive panel. I've prepared a long list of 20 points, but you gave me the task to mention only 3 of them. It's complicated. So I tried to point out 3 aspects, and they are not so different to the remarks of you about mentioned this, we need to prioritize education and science, and we have to do this for a long period of time. This is not an issue of 1 or 2 or 3 years, it's an issue of decades, because good teachers need time to grow, such as a tree that needs time to grow. The same is true for education and science. So the priority on education and to define what's more important than another important point in our policy agenda needs a clear decision over a long period of time to create a solid basis for science, and that's also education, because we need a certain number of young people with a high quality of education. If we want to reach excellence, we need a solid quality basis of education system. Second point, I think it's very important to give trust to our scientists and our researchers, because perhaps they know better than us politicians what are the really important new questions and unknown fields, because perhaps they are a little bit more rapider than us. So I think it's very important to give trust and to give something like freedom to our scientists and our institutions. And that means that we have to give a solid and a reliable basic funding for our science institutions. They need to create their own long planning perspectives to organize themselves. And I think they need some kind of security to do risky research, to work on the really unknown, to do blue sky research. And the same is true for our higher education systems. I think we have to bring the young people in contact, in touch with risky thinking. And so there's needed a little bit of security to do this. So basic funding, I think, is very important. And the third point, it's a culture of collaboration, of cooperation between communities, the private sector, companies, businesses, and our science and research institutions. And this collaboration has to be agile and very needs hubs of collaboration and direct contacts to be vivid and agile. So I think for Germany it's perhaps a good condition that we are a decentralized country. There's not one metropolitan city, but we have a lot of small and medium-sized cities and a whole number of universities spread out over the whole country. So the hubs of innovation and collaboration can grow in different parts of the country. And I think their policy is needed to create some incentives for more intensive collaboration on precisely defined common and joint goals.
Thank you very much. So we can, so we can keep buying German products? Yeah? Okay. Thierry, let me come to you. When you move aims to Rwanda, I guess, of course, President Kagame was there to give you strong motivation to come over here. But from your perspective, what could be your expectations when you come to a country like Rwanda or Senegal to keep moving the scientific agenda, the IT revolution agenda? What will you expect? But on a more personal note, how did you manage to get these two leaders together in Dakar and again in Kigali?
You want to cause trouble here in this auditorium.
Do you have the local passports or not yet?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Didier. And let me begin by saying it's a right question because both were in Dakar and they're here and we know how busy they are. Je voudrais prendre le temps de remercier Son Excellence, Monsieur le Président Macky Sall. Merci infiniment pour votre présence ici. I told my team that we should not take the presence of our two leaders for granted. They didn't have to be here to show us that they support science. Both are Pan-African leaders leading two of the most progressive nations in Africa. And I'm not saying this to please them. So, donc, dis merci au président Macky Sall. Je veux rappeler une petite histoire pour montrer comment ces deux leaders sont être élus au Sénégal. Le président Macky Sall, je ne sais pas comment, a demandé à visiter l'Institut, notre centre d'excellence, le Centre panafricain des sciences mathématiques. J'étais au Canada et je reçois la note, je reçois un coup de fil. Ce jour, j'avais voulu faire le miracle et voler et descendre à Dakar, parce que c'était dans quelques heures. J'ai appelé Neil, le président du conseil d'administration, je lui ai dit, le nouveau président du Sénégal visite Ames. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Je ne peux pas voler, même si je prends un avion, je ne peux pas arriver à temps. Et donc, le président Macky Sall est allé. On a travaillé avec mon équipe sur le discours de celle qui devait nous représenter. Et j'ai mis une phrase dans le discours. Demande au président Macky Sall d'être le porteur de projet du Next Einstein Forum. Et puis, je dis, il ne faut pas oublier de lire cette phrase. Même si le protocole te dit, tu n'as que 2 secondes, lis cette seule phrase. Et puis, le président Macky Sall est allé. Et devant les médias, à Mbou, notre collègue lui dit, Monsieur le Président, nous avons le projet de Next Einstein Forum, est-ce que tu accepterais d'être le porteur de projet? Le président Macky Sall a pris la parole et dit, oui, je suis le porteur de projet. Next Einstein Forum. Et c'est là que la dynamique dont il a parlé tout à l'heure a commencé. Et donc, ça prouve combien il est attaché à la science, lui-même étant scientifique. Il était ici la semaine passée, comme l'a dit le président Kagame. Il revient cette semaine, c'est quand même lourd. Il a atterri ce matin, il est assis ici. Et donc, merci, Monsieur le Président. And then, a few months before the first gathering, global gathering, then we pay a courtesy call to His Excellency, President Paul Kagame. So, after we talked about Ames moving its headquarters here, we talked about research, Quantum Leap Africa, we talked about everything. The delegation was led by my chair, Professor Neil Turok. And then we added that, Mr. President, we have a forum in Dakar. And the president asked, what is the forum about? We said, about youth and science. I will be there. I will talk to my brother Macky Sall. I will be there. You know, you put it in my diary. So I think it is not about me, but it's about their personal belief and vision for their nations that make them come here. President Kagame was here yesterday. He was here yesterday, and he comes back. For a head of state, I think it's too much. So thank you very much. Then my expectations, I have many. I don't think you'd want to know my expectations.
Not all of them.
No, but just to say simply that what we want first, yesterday we had a long discussion. Some people in the audience said that our panel, what we didn't talk about is inspiration. That most of the great scientists became scientists because one day they got inspired. And I think today we are showing this in action to our young laureate, that for both presidents to be here, it's a source of inspiration, that they should continue to do the research they're doing. Both presidents talked about the policies they are putting in place, the regulatory framework, to create conducive ecosystem for science to flourish. And they're working to position Africa, bringing Africa to the cutting edge of science. There will be no shortcut. We are going to take the process it takes, make the investment that needs to be made. So we just hope that in the many years to come, because this is not a project that we're going to accomplish in 3 or 5 years. So for the decades to come, even after our generations, that we continue to have the support of leaders like His Excellency President Paul Kagame and President Macky Sall. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci Thierry. Monsieur le Président Sall, on sait que la science et l'innovation ont besoin de ressources et de financement. Absolument. Et vous l'avez indiqué, au Sénégal, l'État a investi déjà un certain montant dans l'innovation, la science, pour soutenir les infrastructures. Mais quand on voit les besoins qui sont considérables, par exemple, l'année dernière, ce qu'on appelle les capitaux risqueurs ont investi près de 200 milliards de dollars. Je crois qu'on était à 170, 180 milliards. Et nous sommes dans des proportions beaucoup plus faibles dans nos pays, alors que le besoin est important pour soutenir les jeunes innovateurs. Comment vous arrivez, ou comptez-vous arriver à combler ce gap en termes de financement pour encourager les jeunes à innover, à prendre des risques, à échouer et probablement à réussir ensuite?
Vous avez posé une problématique majeure sur le financement de la recherche. Pour des pays où tout est priorité, évidemment, ce n'est pas une question simple. Le président Kagame a rappelé le cas du Rwanda, mais c'est un cas qui peut être généralisé sur le continent africain. Nous avons des priorités sur tout, sur l'agriculture, l'alimentation, la santé, l'éducation, la sécurité, qui est devenue un enjeu de taille avec le développement du terrorisme et du radicalisme qui est en train de déstabiliser un certain nombre d'États africains. Donc nous avons vraiment des priorités sur tout. Toutefois, avec la perspective du partenariat public-privé, je le disais tantôt, il faut que l'État assure le minimum, c'est-à-dire les bases minimales, c'est la construction de l'environnement et l'attractivité. C'est aussi les réformes nécessaires qu'il faudrait faire. Et là-dessus, je voudrais faire un appel aux scientifiques, aux chercheurs, surtout au personnel enseignant, d'accepter ces réformes, puisque sans ces réformes, nous ne pourrons pas attirer les capitaux qui investissent dans la recherche et dans l'innovation. Donc il faut, d'une part, que l'État crée les conditions minimales, qu'il crée l'incitation et la vocation au niveau des jeunes, et que le monde de l'entreprise puisse avoir intérêt à interagir avec le monde de la recherche, puisque la recherche crée les modèles et l'entreprise peut les exploiter disons en grandeur nature. Il y a donc un intérêt dans cette interaction et l'entreprise peut financer ou participer de façon assez consistante au financement de la recherche et de l'innovation. Donc il s'agira concrètement d'un partenariat public-privé et de ce point de vue, il y a également des fondations comme celle qui accompagne aujourd'hui le NEF. Il faut saluer aussi la philanthropie de certaines fondations qui peuvent accompagner l'action, n'est-ce pas, des centres de recherche, des universités, mais il faut que les États africains eux-mêmes croient en la science. Puisqu'aujourd'hui, ce qui fait la différence d'ailleurs entre les nations, c'est la science, au fond. Quand vous prenez un pays comme le Japon, qui n'a aucune ressource naturelle, aucune, quasiment, et dont les 2/3 du territoire sont sur des collines, des montagnes, mais par l'innovation, par la recherche, le Japon s'est imposé aujourd'hui par sa technologie, sa production, en tout genre. La Corée du Sud est en train d'arriver. Je ne parlerai pas de l'arme atomique, mais disons, l'atome a permis à certaines puissances aujourd'hui de dominer le monde. Donc tout ça, c'est la science, en fait, qui est à l'origine, ou en tout cas qui explique le positionnement des États. Donc l'Afrique ne peut pas, de ce point de vue, être absente sur non seulement, je l'ai dit, le rattrapage, mais en matière de science, en matière d'innovation, en matière de numérique, je pense que nous pouvons être au même pied d'égalité. D'ailleurs, l'Inde a montré le chemin. Je pense qu'à Bangalore, et tout ce que les jeunes Indiens ont pu faire, tout ce qu'aujourd'hui les Chinois ont pu faire pour doit servir à l'Afrique sur une durée d'une génération, de 2 générations, avec une population très jeune et très smart, de pouvoir être la future frontière de l'innovation de par le monde. Et en ce moment, c'est tous ceux qui ont les ressources financières qui viendront puiser dans ce vivier où vous trouverez des milliers de PhD par an qui se forment à travers les universités et les instituts de recherche et qui auront intérêt donc à développer des partenariats publics-privés. Je pense que donc il faut agir d'abord local avec l'action de l'État et aller vers ces partenariats.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. President Kagame, we've been seeing in Rwanda, you've been attracting talent, higher education research centers like AIMS, investors, venture capital, companies like Zipline that I've mentioned. What kind of incentives do you put in place or are you intending to put in place to attract more of these institutions, investors, and skills? Because, of course, when you talk about science, skills are everywhere, and we need to attract also the best of them into the continent. So what kind of measures and incentives are you putting in place?
We do 2 things. One is to invest ourselves. As a country, we invest in education, and heavily, it's about 15% of our national budget goes to 17 goes to education. In fact, the biggest part is taken by health and education, and then agriculture, infrastructure, and other things. So we invest, make sure that we have actually done some of the things we can do ourselves or together with other partners, and as some of them, President Macky Sall mentioned, foundations, countries, different, they have been very helpful in investing with us in education. Second, part of that education, we also look at and encourage and incentivize science, mathematics. We encourage our young people to go into that by availing what they can use as tools for their own development and learning from that, as well as other incentives in terms of what they have access to for their development. The second side of it is we have encouraged a kind of ecosystem where indeed, again, from the private public partnership, we also bring in the academic institutions. It's the academic institutions, the private sector, the government. We try to make sure that we bring together this collaboration that is required, where young people are, first of all, are invested in, then they also do what they feel they would like to do, and if they have ideas, then we can find ways those ideas can be facilitated to develop going forward. So it's education, it's academic institutions, it's private sector bringing in their resources, it's also government partnering with the private sector to be able to do that. So it's a question of remaining focused and making sure that you put in these incentives back here at home, as well as making sure that this is attractive to the outsiders as well, to partner with the country or to invest in the country. And through, in fact, as I said, maybe to some people earlier, we have also, in a sense, I think, been lucky. We have found that as we started from scratch, invested in young people. They have gone across the world to study. We have many of them going to our friendly country, South Africa. We had others going to India, they went to Europe, they went to United States. A big come back when they have finished studying in different fields. Those are the ones we have here, both in the private and the public sectors of our nation. Young people, others in the private sector, very innovative, but of course still modest. We are not where we want to be yet, not even half of where we want to be, but the trajectory is a pleasant one, and we are moving forward. So we make sure that we have put a conducive environment on the investment side. You have seen probably that in the rankings of doing business, Rwanda ranks modestly high because of the conditions we have created here, so that people can bring in their money, they can repatriate their profits, but also encouraged making sure that what they do here has impact in the country. It's not just coming and doing business and taking everything, including the business, away after it has made you good profits, but rather making sure that the country benefits from that, but also the country benefits any investor who brings in their money. So we have found this collaboration very helpful, and also the secure environment, the predictability we have created has brought us some success.
Thank you very much, President Kagame. Monsieur Macky Sall, Président Macky Sall, juste pour des raisons d'organisation, je vois qu'il reste 2 minutes sur l'écran et 10 minutes à ma montre. De combien de temps disposons-nous encore? Is it 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? 10 minutes. Maybe if the President asks for 20 minutes, they can accept. Your Excellencies, 10, 20? How do you maneuver? Monsieur le Président Macky Sall, la question de la manière d'enseigner est extrêmement importante. On en a parlé hier. Le système éducatif, avant, c'était le professeur enseigne à l'élève et l'élève n'a pas grand-chose à dire, en réalité, dans l'ancien système. Aujourd'hui, c'est un système plus participatif où les deux s'apprennent les uns des autres avec ce qu'on appelle les soft skills, capacités innovées, à communiquer, qui sont extrêmement importants dans le monde aujourd'hui. Justement, dans les réformes que vous avez engagées au Sénégal, comment assurez-vous que cette dimension est prise en compte, la manière dont on enseigne aujourd'hui à nos enfants et la manière dont on enseigne la science?
Alors, vous savez, les présidents doivent répondre à toutes les questions, même à celles pour lesquelles ils n'ont aucune réponse. Enfin, mais je vais essayer quand même de dire un mot. Nous avons voulu changer de paradigme en matière d'enseignement, formation, puisque nous sommes héritiers d'un système de formation, il faut le dire, hérité de la France, qui avait plutôt une tendance à développer l'élitisme, enseignement théorique, élitiste, formé de hauts cadres, brillants certes, mais qui n'avaient pas de grandes capacités professionnelles. Et c'est ainsi que nos universités, au fil du temps, sont devenues des fabriques de docteurs, de toutes sortes de cadres issus des facultés, mais qui avaient un sérieux problème d'insertion. Parce que la formation, justement, n'était pas en adéquation avec ce que le marché de l'emploi pouvait offrir. Nous avons, dans un premier temps, essayé de professionnaliser les universités. Alors, ça n'a pas été simple, mais je crois que la réforme LMD donc, répond un peu à ce souci de nos diplômes dans le schéma classique, où nous avions la licence, la maîtrise, le DEA, un doctorat troisième cycle, puis un doctorat d'État, et de revenir à une simplification à 3 niveaux de doctorat. Ça, c'est le premier niveau. Le second, c'était d'avoir aussi des écoles supérieures ou des instituts supérieurs. Moi-même, je suis un produit d'un institut de formation d'ingénieurs géologues au sein de l'université. Et c'est dire que c'est une, disons, tendance qui a été entamée au Sénégal depuis au moins une trentaine d'années, voire plus, la professionnalisation, les écoles supérieures professionnelles. Et nous avons aussi pensé qu'il fallait commencer plus tôt cette orientation professionnelle. Parce que tout le monde ne peut pas sortir comme médecin, comme ingénieur, comme avocat. Il faut aussi former les techniciens. Et il faut former ceux qui doivent faire l'électricité pour fixer l'ampoule, maîtriser les réseaux, faire l'assainissement. Alors donc, on a, à partir de ce moment, défini dans l'enseignement technique et la formation professionnelle, grâce d'ailleurs à une coopération avec l'Allemagne, je salue la ministre allemande, et avec la Suisse, on est en train de définir un nouveau paradigme en matière de formation professionnelle où nous mettons une formation duale, où l'étudiant ou l'apprenant a une partie de son temps à l'école et une partie dans l'entreprise. Et grâce à la contribution forfaitaire à la charge de l'entreprise, donc le montant payé par les entrepreneurs ou les entreprises, sur chaque salaire qu'ils ont, ce montant, nous l'avons intégralement versé à la formation professionnelle. Sur la formation professionnelle des jeunes apprentis, des jeunes entre le brevet et le baccalauréat, indépendamment de l'enseignement supérieur. L'environnement scientifique nouveau et informatique nouveau aussi fait qu'aujourd'hui, la pédagogie a été adaptée à l'environnement numérique. Donc, il est de bon ton que les cours qui se donnaient auparavant par disons, des rétroprojecteurs pendant nous qu'on était des étudiants ou même au tableau, mais devant des amphithéâtres de 2000, 3000 personnes, on ne peut pas avoir l'écriture au tableau. Donc, il faut de nouveaux moyens de projection, il faut un nouveau système où l'enseignant doit lui-même s'adapter, sinon il sera dépassé par ses étudiants. Parce que les étudiants déjà très jeunes sont dans cet environnement. Donc, il y a nécessité, et pour l'État, et pour les universités, et pour les enseignants eux-mêmes, que chacun se remette en cause et s'adapte à cet écosystème numérique qui permet aujourd'hui entre l'apprenant et celui qui lui donne, n'est-ce pas, le cours. Ça, c'est ce que je peux dire sous le risque de mon ministre de l'Enseignement supérieur, qui est un chercheur et qui pourrait bien peut-être donner de plus amples informations, mais voilà un peu ce que je pourrais dire en guise de réponse à votre question.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. President Kagame, last week in Kigali, you signed the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Do you intend to do such thing for science, for researchers in the continent, so you can encourage mobility of scientists in the continent, innovation? Is there an initiative on the continental level that you plan to launch this year as a head of the AU?
Yeah, already at the AU Commission, there is a whole commission responsible for science and technology. And we intend to strengthen that, to support that, to make sure that it serves the continent by bringing together the African countries. They can do together to advance our development built on what science and technology can provide. Definitely, that's why I even said this moment, this conference is to that level, like the event we had indeed from the Continental Free Trade Area last week. So it's important that we raise it to that level and beyond, and make sure that it serves every other effort that we intend to carry out for ourselves on the continent, because education, science, very central in our daily lives if we want to make advancements that we have set out for ourselves going forward another 50 years. And I think President Macky Sall said it eloquently. There have been revolutions across the globe, and Africa has always lagged behind or left out. So we are saying this moment we should not miss out. And therefore, there is no doubt that Africa intends with other leaders to make sure that we seize this moment.
Thank you very much. Yes, Monsieur Macky Sall.
Oui, juste un point. Je voulais, sur la mobilité des enseignants et des chercheurs au Sénégal, en plus de ce que le président Kagame vient de dire par rapport à l'Union africaine, il y a un effort que les pays peuvent faire. Et nous avons fait ce pas au Sénégal en changeant la loi qui faisait obligation pour l'enseignant du supérieur d'être de nationalité sénégalaise. Nous avons enlevé cette disposition. C'est-à-dire qu'aujourd'hui, l'enseignant, qu'il vienne d'Afrique ou d'ailleurs, mais principalement, c'est ouvert à tous les Africains et les postes sont ouverts. Ce n'est plus des postes réservés uniquement aux nationaux. Je pense que cela peut faciliter la mobilité entre chercheurs et enseignants africains, mais au-delà de l'Afrique, il faut être ouvert au monde, puisque finalement, il y a pas, la science n'a pas de frontières. On ne doit pas simplement réserver les postes d'enseignement et de recherche aux seuls nationaux. Je crois que dans l'esprit de la zone de libre-échange, voilà une application dans le domaine de l'enseignement supérieur et de la recherche.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Je crois que nous arrivons au terme de notre discussion, si je ne me trompe. Oui. Avant de faire les closing remarks, j'ai une question. Comme Monsieur le Président Macky Sall disait, le Président répond à toutes les questions, même s'il ne sait pas quelles sont ces questions. À tous les deux. Si vous aviez été, allez, on va dire le Mark Zuckerberg, celui qui a créé Facebook. Monsieur Macky Sall, si vous aviez été Mark Zuckerberg aujourd'hui, vous aviez 20 ans, qu'est-ce que vous auriez aimé créer comme application? Ça laisse le temps au président Kagame de réfléchir. Une fois de plus, ça tombe sur vous. Quelle est l'application que vous auriez aimé inventer? Dire, ça m'aurait plu.
J'aurais certainement essayé de créer une application qui nous permettrait de voler, comme l'a dit notre ami, depuis le Canada. Au-delà des avions, d'avoir individuellement la capacité d'une mobilité sans limite dans l'espace et dans le temps.
Vous noterez que le président a déposé le brevet dès aujourd'hui. Celui qui invente ça, ça lui appartient. Monsieur le président Kagame, tu as been your invention.
Yeah, let me simplify your question for the sake of finding an answer. First of all, it happens that I'm where I am, and it made me think that maybe indeed I shouldn't be a Zuckerberg, but I should be one who can enable others to become Zuckerberg.
I love that. So we have the new Paul Kagame. Thank you so much. Let's move to the closing remarks. Nous allons clôturer cette session qui a été extrêmement riche, extrêmement intéressante. Je vais donner la parole au président Macky Sall pour son mot de clôture avant de donner la parole au président Kagame, si vous voulez bien.
Je vous remercie. C'est un mot très simple, un mot d'encouragement. Après avoir félicité les initiateurs du Next Einstein Forum, c'est une innovation majeure pour le continent. Je pense qu'il y a eu les pionniers qui ont cru. Ensuite, il y a eu EMS qui a été créé, d'abord en Afrique du Sud, au Sénégal, aujourd'hui au Rwanda. Mon souhait, c'est de voir ces instituts EMS essaimés partout sur le continent et que ce forum devienne l'un des forums les plus importants du continent. Non pas tous les 2 ans, mais que ça devienne un forum annuel parce que tellement il y aura de l'intérêt et de l'adhésion, mais également que les chercheurs africains soient accompagnés, on l'a vu, par les États, par les fondations, par le secteur privé. Et ça, c'est ce que je souhaite à l'Afrique, d'être déjà aujourd'hui un acteur de premier plan dans la révolution numérique que nous vivons présentement. En tout cas, je félicite tout le monde et je remercie encore une fois mon frère et ami, le président Paul Kagame, pour son leadership. Le Rwanda n'est pas un pays très grand par la taille. Il est devenu l'un des pays les plus importants du continent. Et ça, c'est dû à son leadership. Je tenais à le souligner parce que le leadership peut beaucoup transformer et beaucoup apporter. Donc, je crois que le modèle rwandais aujourd'hui, ce que nous voyons, cette transformation, ces innovations sont un peu l'indication que les uns et les autres devront voir, parce que l'Afrique, je reste convaincu qu'après avoir été le berceau de l'humanité, sera la prochaine du développement économique du monde. Et il faut que nous participions plus dans le concert des nations, mais dans un esprit d'ouverture. Ça ne sert à rien de dire « oui, nous sommes seuls » et de s'enfermer. C'est une illusion. L'Afrique doit être ouverte au reste du monde, mais l'Afrique doit prendre sa part dans le concert des nations. C'est pour paraphraser un de mes devanciers, le président Léopold Sédar Senghor. Il parlait déjà du banquet de l'universel, donc du banquet du donner et du recevoir. Il faut échanger, il faut apporter sa contribution. Il faut également tirer profit de l'expérience d'autres pays qui ont, comme l'Allemagne, comme l'Europe de façon générale, les États-Unis, une expérience avant nous, profiter de cela sans complexe, mais l'Afrique a un apport décisif à donner également à l'universel. Voilà un peu le message d'espoir que je voulais donner à ce forum.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. President Kagame, your closing remarks.
Yes. Well, I start by thanking President Macky Sall. I think your presence here, Macky Sall, is important to me personally. It is important to these scientists and other important people here in the room. So thank you very much. Again, I want to thank Professor Turok and Dr. Zamahun, and I should not forget to bring in our own Professor Rome Morenzi. I don't know whether he's in the crowd here. And I particularly mention him also because he's the one who brought me into this. And many years ago, he comes to me and says, you know, you should do this. And I said, no, but that's complicated business. It's not, it's not really mine. And he says, no. So he encouraged me, he brought me in, and that's how I became associated with AIMS and other efforts to promote science and technology. So I just wanted to thank the three leaders in their own fields and in this education and science and mathematics and other things. So I wanted to say that. And so we will continue doing our best. We will invest our time and energy and politics into this to make sure that there is always a place for science. Well, even if we didn't do it, it has a place anyway. Science has a place whether we support it or not. We only would be losing if we did not we are the ones to lose if we don't support that for the benefit of our people. In this conference, I thank you very much, and the different partners. So all the best to the efforts that are put into it.
Thank you very much, President Kagame. So that's the end. You want more? We can't. No, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Thierry Zomao, thank you. Minister Teresa Bauer, thank you. Minister Kubai Nkubane, thank you. And Your Excellencies, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for a great panel discussion. And we are going to proceed to the next Einstein Fellow Awards. Thank you, Your Excellencies. We are going to proceed to the next Einstein Fellow Award ceremony. Kindly take your seats. Veuillez rejoindre vos sièges. Thank you, Your Excellencies, for a great panel discussion, and particularly you, Your Excellencies, for your invaluable insights and continuous commitment of putting science at the forefront of Africa's development agenda. As a young scientist myself, and speaking on behalf of our generation, we are privileged to be given this platform to network, learn, and share. We thank you, Your Excellencies, for that commitment. We are challenged by your call and are committed to drive the African scientific renaissance. Count on us. Let's now proceed to the awarding ceremony. The NEF Fellows Award Ceremony honors and recognizes 20 of Africa's best young scientists and technologists, of which 40% are women. The ceremony will proceed as follows. His Excellency Macky Sall will award 8 fellows, and His Excellency Paul Kagame will award 9 fellows. I would like now to invite His Excellency Macky Sall, the President of the Republic of Senegal, to award the 8 NEF Fellows. Monsieur le Président, j'aimerais vous inviter pour donner les awards aux Fellows. À vous l'honneur, Monsieur le Président. The first awardee, Dr. Vinet Kotsi, South Africa. Vinet is a senior lecturer at the University of Pretoria in the Department of Genetics, researching non-invasive measures of health. Prof. Abdoulaye Banire Diallo, Guinea. Abdoulaye is the professor of computer science and bioinformatics at Université of Quebec at Montréal. He is director of the Bioinformatics Laboratory. He is also co-founder and chief scientist of My Intelligent Machines, a startup integrating genomic, bioinformatics, and artificial intelligence. Dr. Abdigani Diriye, Somalia. Abdigani is a research scientist and manager with IBM Research Africa, where his team is developing new approaches to securely mine, model, and score individuals who are applying for loans. Dr. Kevin Zobo, Zimbabwe. Kevin Zobo is a senior research scientist with ICGEB and a lecturer at the University of Cape Town in the Department of Integrative Biomedical Sciences. His research focuses on stem cells in disease treatment and management. Prof. Jonathan Esole, Democratic Republic of Congo. Jonathan is a mathematician and assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics at Northeastern University. Yebabel Fantaye, Ethiopia. Ems Arete, Junior Chair, working in cosmology. Prof. Aminata Garba, Niger. Assistant Professor, Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, and Director of the Kigali Collaborative Research Center. Thank you. Prof. Remy Kefi, Tunisia. Associate Professor and Team Leader in the Laboratory of Biomedical Genomics and Ontogenetics at Institut Pasteur in Tunis. Thank you. Merci, Monsieur le Président. Merci, Monsieur le Président. I have the honor to invite His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, to award the next group of NEF Fellows. Dr. Aku Kwame, Ghana. Aku is an independent researcher in the field of health systems governance. Thank you. Dr. Justice Massa, Uganda, Group Leader for Electrocatalysis and Energy Conversion at the Center for Electrochemical Sciences, Ruhr University Bochum in Germany. Thank you. Dr. Yvonne Mburu, Kenya. Yvonne is the founder and chief executive officer of Med in Africa, working in immunology and oncology. Thank you. Our very own Dr. Yves Mugabo from Rwanda, research scientist at Montréal Diabetes Research Center, Centre Hospitalier de l'Université de Montréal, working on diabetes and cardiometabolic disorders. Thank you. Professor Anushka Naido, South Africa, Associate Professor at the University of Pretoria, with research dedicated to plant defense in the forest species, with an emphasis on eucalyptus. Thank you. Professor Maha Nasr. Maha is an Associate Professor of Pharmaceutics and Industrial Pharmacy in the Faculty of Pharmacy at Ain Shams University, working on nanotechnology. She also leads a large team of researchers. Thank you. Professor Peter Ngene. Peter is Assistant Professor, DB Institute of Nanomaterials Science, Utrecht University, the Netherlands. He developed a novel eye-readable hydrogen sensor suitable for medical diagnosis. Thank you. Dr. Tolulope Olugboji, Postdoctoral Research Associate, Department of Geology, University of Maryland, where he built sophisticated computer models and designed novel remote subsurface imaging techniques. Last but certainly not least, Prof. Hamidou Tembin, Global Network Assistant Professor with New York University. Hamidou's research investigates game theory. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Congratulations to the NEF Fellow. We are now going to have a group photo of the awarded NEF Fellows and our President. Please come forward for the group photo. Your Excellencies, kindly join the group photo. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellencies. And one more round of applause for our NEF Fellows. Thank you. Thank you, the NEF Fellows. You can exit the stage. This concludes our morning session, and we once again thank you, Your Excellencies, for gracing this event. We will have another group photo with NEF ambassadors outside the plenary, and protocol will guide us. Ceci conclut notre session de ce matin, et nous vous remercions, Votre Excellence, d'avoir participé. Nous aurons une autre photo avec les ambassadeurs du NEF dehors, et le protocole va nous guider. Join me in thanking our Excellencies, the President of the Republic of Senegal and the President of the Republic of Rwanda, as they exit the building. And thank you to our panelists, and congratulations again to our NEF Fellows. I hope you have a great rest of the day and enjoy this event.